could lead together across the desert to Israel. So, who are you guys? Three wise? Casper?
Casper.
Oh, must be a ghost. It's been 2,000 years since you've been alive. And your name?
I'm Melchior.
Melchior?
I'm Balthazar.
And you must be, what, three wise guys? Or... There's three of you?
1, 2, 3. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3.
Isn't there just three of you?
There should be four of us.
Four wise men? Really? Well, I don't see anybody.
You can't wait forever.
You can't.
We have to go. We have to be on our way.
I knew. Well, there's a star. You're on your way.
We're following the star. We're looking for the newborn king.
Okay. Well, if you can't wait, I guess you can't wait. I tell you, if I see him, I'll tell him where you went. Okay? All right. See you later. Have a good trip. Bye-bye. Carry those camels. So the three wise men set off for Israel. Now the reason, there was a fourth wise man. And he had with him, as they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh, the fourth wise man had three gifts of his own: a ruby, a diamond, and the most precious of all, a precious pearl. Now the reason the fourth wise man was late arriving at the place with the other three was because on his way he came across a man who had been beaten and robbed on the side of the road. And being a wise man, as well as a good and compassionate man, he stopped to help him.
Why, sir, you look injured. May I help you? Yes. Come, follow me. I will take you to an inn where you will be cared for. In here.
Thank you.
Take this ruby and use it as payment to care for this injured man.
So the fourth wise man gave one of his three gifts, the ruby, to take care of this man he had come across on his journey. So finally he came to the place where the other three had agreed to meet with him.
Why, sir, have you seen three other gentlemen like myself, dressed in robes, wearing crowns, in search of the newborn king?
As a matter of fact, there was just three here who were here several days ago, but they already left in pursuit of the star.
Do you know which direction they have headed, sir? I'm off to find the newborn king, and I would like to catch up with my friends.
Well, they went after that star, that way.
Well, let me go off and find him, so I can find the newborn king.
And so the fourth wise man set off, following the star. It was several days later, finally, that the three wise men arrived in Bethlehem. And they came to the spot over which the star was, the manger, and brought their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, knelt down and offered those gifts to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And once they had offered their gifts, they got up and then headed back to their own country by a different route, so as not to inform Herod that they had seen this newborn king. It was several days later after that finally the fourth wise man arrived in Bethlehem. However, by the time he got there, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph had already left and gone into Egypt to escape King Herod. And so when he came to the place at the manger which was empty, however, he did find another mother with a child who was there in Bethlehem, who was seeking escape from the soldiers of Herod who were out to kill the firstborn.
Stop, soldier! Here, take this diamond and be off. Here, follow me to safety, dear lady.
So the fourth wise man gave his second gift, the diamond, in order to save the life of this mother and her child. And so as the fourth wise man took the mother off into safety, and then continued his pursuit of this newborn king and set off for Egypt. And he went to Egypt in search of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, but could not find them there. He searched the temples, the palaces, the places where he might expect to find a king, But then he realized that this king was one who came to heal the brokenhearted, to care for the poor, the sick, the lame. And that's amongst the people he would be found. And he would be found among his own people as king of the Jews. So he headed back for Israel to find this king and to give his last remaining gift, that precious pearl. But on his way back to Israel, he came across a community that was a community of sick and hurt people that sought for him to stay with them.
Why, you guys look like you're in need of help.
Yes, we need food. There's no sickness here. Can you stay and help us sometime?
Well, I can stay for one day, and one day only to give you help. But then I must be off to find a newborn king.
So the fourth wise man stayed in this community for a day. The day turned into 2 days. The 2 days into a week. The week into a month. The month into a year. And the year into 30 years. It was 30 years that the wise men stayed in this community, caring for them, caring for the poor, the sick, the lame amongst them, and helping them to do the same for one another. But all throughout these 30 years, he never lost sight of his initial quest to finally find this newborn king and present his gift to him. And after 30 years, he one day heard a report of this Jesus of Nazareth, who was in Jerusalem, performing all these wonderful things on behalf of the people. And so he came to realize that that must have been the king he had been searching for those 30 years. And so he set off once more to find this newborn king and took leave of the community in which he had remained.
I must be off to find the king.
Of course, 30 years later now, the fourth wise man was kind of old and feeble and on himself approaching death. And by the time he came to Jerusalem, however, he came just in time to see Christ being led away to the cross. And seemed very sad about this, of course. And he thought, however, if he could only give this last pearl to this king, then perhaps he could ransom him from his death. But before he could get to the cross, he came across another Roman soldier who was leading a man away into slavery.
Come on.
Stop, soldier. Release this slave. Take this precious pearl as payment for his freedom. Be off now.
These things right. Roman soldiers don't make good pay. So he gave his last remaining gift for the freedom of the slave. And finally, coming to the cross, he knelt down only to see Jesus die. And he was very sad to see this king he had sought for so many years come to such an end. And he himself, the fourth wise man, was himself on the verge of death as well, being old at this time. But before he died, Jesus appeared to him and stood before him.
Lord, it is you. Long have I sought you. At one time I had many gifts to give you, but now I have none.
And Jesus said to him, "You have given me your best gifts. These many years, whenever I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was homeless, you took me in. When I was sick, you comforted me."
Oh no, Lord, not so. Why, I never saw you.
I tell you truly, whenever you did it for one of my least brothers or sisters, you did it for me. Come now, enter my kingdom.
Did you hear that? I have now found the king, and he has accepted my gifts, the gifts that I have given to him throughout these 30 years.
And that's how the fourth wise man gave his gifts to the king. And so also is it the same way in which we are to give our gifts to the king, for we are all fourth wise men and women. Let us continue to do the same. I'd like to thank the sports singles group. You all come out. support singles group, putting in a lot of time and effort and doing 4 performances this weekend. So thanks a lot for a very meaningful, important play. Take care now.